Hello, welcome. Okay, so I guess we're doing a podcast now and it's kind of new. So I'm starting it on my phone. I'm posting it on my YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. And I'm just starting it and I'm just kind of doing it because I've stopped making excuses for myself to not do things that I want to try. And it's usually, I can't because I'm worried about this or worried about that or worried about that. But the only way to actually know if you can do something is to start. So you can plan and procrastinate and make up excuses, but unless you actually take that first step, you will stay stuck in that place. So kind of what I want to talk about a lot is fears and limiting beliefs and how you can kind of break past that. And I'll use examples from my own life of ways that worked for me to do that and how I was able to gain different perspectives of life and really break myself out of these loops of self-limiting beliefs. Also, side note, we're going to go on a lot of side quests. I still have a happy birthday banner up here. So we're just doing this. I'm just in my house and I'm just doing stuff, and it's just going to be raw and real and authentic because I think the world needs a lot more of that. And just because I'm going to keep blabbing for whoever wants to listen, I have been wanting to meditate more and practice mindfulness and that kind of stuff. So I decided, I have a little steam sauna downstairs in my basement, and I decided to actually use it. I haven't used it in a long time. So I decided to actually use it and just sit there in the dark and just focus on my breathing and do a type of meditation practice. And that just gave me some ideas. I was kind of, had the question in my mind of what are my values, what's something that I'm passionate about. And for me, part of that is knowing the place where I was 3 months ago, 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, 4 years ago, and the things that I have been able to overcome in that time by going inward with things like journaling and meditating and so much more beyond. So if any of these kinds of things you want to know more about, let me know and I can talk about those ones more, because my aim for this is it was for me to go inward and realize that I have so much inner strength that I never knew I had until I started doing it, which is again why I'm just starting a random podcast from my phone. I'm going to learn how to do it better and better every day, 1% better. I'm going to talk about towards moves and away moves. And if you could picture your dream life, what would that look like for you? And what is something that you're doing now that is working towards that you could put more energy in? And what are some things that you are doing right now that are not in alignment with that dream that you have? And maybe you can kind of sit with those things, and that's where I'm going to get into the actual of how, for me personally, I was able to kind of overcome those things and start choosing those towards moves and those steps towards becoming the person I actually want to be, which comes from going within, meditating, journaling, whatever kind of format you use. Those are ones that have worked really well for me. So I'm just going to share those in hopes that maybe it will help someone else along their journey, along their path to follow their passion, to do what they want to do, to reword those things that are holding you back from doing that into maybe something for you to evaluate in your life, or maybe for you to look at and see, well, why can't I actually do that? And instead of saying, I can't do that, well, this way is challenging, but knowing this information, I could maybe explore this or this or this or this option to take me the way I want to go. So, with that being said, I don't know what else. We'll just stop and pause for a minute because that was a lot of information. I've noticed that I tend to ramble, but I always do usually bring it full circle in the end. So, again, too, this is about being authentically you, expressing yourself. I am showing courage and doing something that I am, worried about doing, but the worries are, just my brain. And I like to say, thank you, brain, for doing a good job of trying to protect me, because for a lot of us, the way our lives are is we base our decisions from fear, but it's a bit of a journey to get to realize that part. So, anyways. What else can we talk about? We're going to wrap up really quick, but just, I guess for me, it's an accomplishment. Okay, I have a challenge for you. Can you name at least one thing, maybe three, even more, things that you have accomplished in your life that you really wanted to do? And how did you feel? Imagine that feeling you felt when you did that and you believed in yourself and you did it and you're so proud of yourself for doing something for yourself. And just embody that feeling and start looking at what are the things that you did in that situation that helped you. How can you apply those concepts in your life? And I'm happy to talk about certain topics that I have experience in if you want to hear. And again, too, I'm not here to tell you what to do. Always use your own discretion, but it's more of just being brave for myself. I learn more about myself from talking out loud, so I'm doing this for me as well. And I also just really, really am passionate about gratitude, and we can always find something to be grateful for, even in the most seemingly worst situations. And trust me, I know that can be very hard because I've been through a lot of very difficult situations myself. So again, too, if you want to know more about that, I do have some other videos on my YouTube page and I think on my Instagram too, talking about a couple of, trigger warning type topics. But again, too, it's about how I can take those experiences and not stay, and I had to be honest with myself, not stay in the victim mentality of that situation and learn what I can do to see the lessons that I can take from that and move forward and apply that in my life. We're always growing 1% better every day. And if that's where you are in life, then come join, because we're here.